Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome back to this week's altcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and it's all for educational purposes only. And now that's out of the way, let's jump into some no bullshit tier, which is what you're here for. This week we have had requests for Solana and ETH, so we will take a look. Now, Solana, admittedly, there's not much of an update, but we'll start off here. Before we jump into Solana's chart, quick shout out to today's video sponsor. Today's video sponsor is BingX. If you don't know who BingX are, they are a crypto trading exchange where not only you can trade crypto, but you can also trade FX, commodities, and stock indices. And the beauty of these guys is they are no KYC. So if you do live in a country like the UK that struggle to get on other exchanges now, then BingX is a viable option. That's where I'm currently trading crypto and Forex. So, link down in the description. If you use our link, then there are bonuses and deposit bonuses to get involved with. So yeah, if you want to know more, click on the link down in the description. Now that's out of the way, let's bring back some old tier, and this is the same tier that we've had on this chart now for months. Okay, we're going to throw it into logs. It's going to make it a lot easier to see. I'm going to zoom out. We're on the daily chart here, and we can see what's going on. Okay, so obviously, very simple purposes, we've got what I would class the top macro range and effectively the bottom range below us. And then one could argue that this is a range in itself, okay? So these have been the same levels of, if you've been watching our channel for some time, you'll have seen we've talked about these. Obviously, we had the short rejection here from the naked point of control within this region here. In fact, let's just throw this on so visually you can see what I'm talking about. There you go. You had that absolute perfection. Naked point of control, tapped that, rejected, obviously, while every man and his dog was looking for these highs to be taken. And what we're doing right now, well, even after yesterday's fun action, Solana is still holding up a fair bit of strength. Okay, so we're coming back up to this top range, this top orange range, we're coming back up here. So we are coming back up into a resistance region. So the first things first is, would I be longing right here on a daily time frame that we're looking at right now? No. Okay, so that's the easiest way to say that right now. Would I be shorting here? Not necessarily here, but I would be interested in shorts if we go a little bit higher. And what do I mean by that? Well, this region above us is clearly resistance. Clearly resistance. We've rejected off it multiple times, and once again, this is on the daily chart, multiple times, same rejection, and we're coming back up to it. Now, we can argue that the more times that a resistance level is tapped, the weaker it becomes. So, I'm not against the idea of it blasting straight through. Now, if it does blast straight through this level, then first and foremost, I will be watching for these highs. After those highs, I'll then be watching for these highs, which is obviously the highs that everyone had their eyes on in the first place. So, plan would be, if we do come up through this and continue up, then first and foremost, what happens once we take out these highs? Do we take out these highs and get a nice rejection, followed by a lower time frame market structure change? Well, in that case, I'll be looking for shorts. Initially, bringing it back down to these range lows and see if they hold. If they hold, we'll get that change of structure once again. Then there's potential for a long opportunity there, and then we're back to playing the old range, okay? If no reaction here and it just comes straight back through and starts to roll over, then happy days, let it roll over. So if this was a short setup, that'd be a clear take profit one. Stops to entry, and then that way, if it does run, then you can let your trade run. If it doesn't run and it turns around and then comes and stops you back out again, well, it's stopping you back out at entry. You've had your take profit one. It's a winning trade regardless. Tap yourself on the back, put it in your journal, and move on. What if this high doesn't give us anything to work with? What if we just blast straight through it? Okay, we can do. Then this high then becomes a priority for me because it is a high, as I've said, that every man and his dog is looking at. So if we do get some sort of rejection from that and a market structure change, then yeah, I will happily look for shorts. Now, once again, playing that back down to these range lows and then see if they hold or not. Okay, take profit one, stops to entry, and then look for what's next. Okay, well, what if these highs don't give us anything to work with at all? Well, if they don't give us anything to work with, then we're back to trading this whole top range. What we can do is we're going to throw on a volume profile of the whole of the top range, and we'll see where the volume levels are. Okay, so we can see here, we've still got this point of control here. Okay, start to clear that, the next high volume node that we're dealing with here, the next sticky zone, is going to be 43.6, give or take. Now, if we start to clear above that, this area here becomes quite thin. Okay, so then we can start looking towards the EQ/value area high. So this is a big if we manage to clear this 43.6k region and get above this, bear in mind, this is a sticky zone, then we can be looking for this region. Start to clear above that region, then once again, we're just targeting your major highs initially. This high first, so this is what's coming in at 141. Okay, so that's to the upside. Now, what would I be looking for the downside? Well, if we do reject here or within this region, whether it's this level, or this level, and once again, some people are going to be sat there and saying, well, Spit, you aren't got a clue what you're doing, you're just pointing at loads of random levels. No, what I'm saying is these are my areas of interest. Okay, if I don't get a reaction here, the next area of interest would be here. If this doesn't offer me a setup, the next area would be here. Okay, and so on. That's how a trader's mindset should work. I don't know where the market's going, and I'm never going to sit here and bullshit you guys and pretend to know where the market's going, because nobody knows that. All we know is the areas that we're interested in taking a trade. And if that area presents itself with a trade, then we take it. And if it doesn't, then we sit back and wait. Now, what happens if it rolls over? Again, whether it comes up and then down or just rolls over from here, regardless. First and foremost, these lows here are key, in my opinion. Now, looking at this here, let's get the old channel tool on, see if we can draw this, see if this lines up. Okay, not perfect. In fact, we'll attach it to here. Give or take, there you go. Okay, so if we do start to roll over, let's just change the colour of this, shall we? Since we've got every other colour on here, we'll change this to a nice blue. We like a nice blue. There we go. So, if we do start to roll over here, these lows are very important. Okay. Along with this trend line. Now, I'm not a trend line trader. I am a channel trader because it ties into Elliott Wave. But if we do start to break below this and we start to break below this sticky zone here, then we can start looking at some lower prices. Okay, so let's go to some of these squiggles now. If we do start to take out these lows being a key target, then next key target would be these lows. Okay. Does this offer a change of market structure to the upside? Then potentially got a long opportunity down at these lows. Okay, now bear in mind this wick might not exist on every exchange. So depending on what exchange you're trading on, pay attention, because that'll be very, very important. Again, if you don't understand what I mean by that, then that's something I teach about in the Discord and in the private members. And obviously, if we do come down lower, then realistically, this low here becomes a major pivot once again. Start to come lower than that, then we start talking about this range. Do we get acceptance or do we get a rejection? Okay. Very simple on Solana. There's no need to overcomplicate it. I'm not trading this low time frame because there's just no point in trading this low time frame. All I want on a lot of altcoins is I'm looking for swing trades. Okay. So to the upside, range, key pivot, key pivot. To the downside, very key pivot along with this channel line. And then if we start going lower than that, then each one of these are likely going to offer some sort of pullback. But to what extent, we don't know until it happens. Okay. So that's Solana. ETH. Now, ETH's at a very interesting position now because the Bitcoin pair, so ETH against BTC, is in a very interesting position. Now, if you guys follow us on Twitter, links down in the description, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're at a key area now. So locally, we have a sideways range. Very locally. Again, I'm looking on the daily chart here, but the sideways range has gone on for quite some time. So this is what we've got going on locally. So we've got your range highs, we've got the range lows, we've got the EQ smack bang in the middle, along with this macro point of control. So this is really, really important how this is right now. So we can see yesterday, the spike up that we had along with Bitcoin and everything else, we came smack bang into that point of control, that EQ, and had a rejection. So now it's time to pay attention on this. If we don't reclaim this zone and we start to roll over, then unfortunately we're back down towards range lows again. Now, this last sticky zone, if this holds and gives us something to work with, now I don't like to see the same price action happen twice. Bear in mind, this low was created, then we took out those lows, then we took out those lows again. So does it happen again and make it that easy for us? We take out those lows and give us a nice sweep and reclaim. If it does, then there's a long opportunity. But it's becoming a little bit too easy if that's the case, isn't it? Let's be honest. Becoming a little bit too easy. So if we do come back down to these range lows, ideally you want some sort of bullish market structure before getting involved in a long. Otherwise, sit back and be patient. Because if this starts to roll over, then once again, I'm targeting these lows / EQ, and there's obviously this value area low just below it here. So there's a bit of a zone down here. And I would be interested in see what happens in this zone. In this zone, do we get some sort of bullish reaction after sweeping these lows into the EQ? Get a sign of strength? Then yeah, I'll be happy to get involved in some longs. If we don't get that and it just continues to roll over, then let it roll over. Then we can start looking back down at this sticky cluster. And lower than that, then we're back down towards range lows. And people are going to start getting extremely bearish again. Okay, that's what happens. Range lows, people get overly bearish and then start calling for ridiculous price targets. Range highs, people get overly bullish and start calling for ridiculous price targets. Okay, so we've got that zone there. Now, what happens if this flips the point of control? Okay, would I belong in here? That's probably another question. No, I wouldn't belong in here. Okay, but if we do flip this point of control and we get up there, then that's going to be a good sign of strength initially, especially locally. Okay, lower term time frame. If we manage to flip that into support, then we can start looking back at range highs. Now, at range highs, once again, the same idea happens. Again, we're just range trading for now. Do we take the liquidity and reverse? That's one option for a short trade. If we don't take the liquidity and reverse and we just continue up, then we're coming back up into this sticky zone. And this is a sticky zone that we pointed out a couple of weeks ago, the last time we charted ETH. Okay? Which would be this region here. Now back up into this sticky zone. Do we come up here, get a clear rejection? Then there's a short opportunity. If no rejection here, then let it roll up back towards your range highs. Then we've got resting liquidity above these highs. Okay? Very, very simple. Now, once again, I'm going to reiterate that the market is range bound. Most of the market is range bound. So therefore, we'll treat the market as it's range bound. We'll trade it like it's range bound. Okay? There's no need to hold on positions forever and hope that it's either going to go to the moon or go to Goblin Town. We'll just trade level to level until we get a sign of clarity. Okay? But the big regions to be interested in are down here. And if that offers nothing, then my personal preference would be coming back down towards range lows. Okay? These two areas would be high time frame areas of interest for me. Just like the upside, if we do come back up towards the range highs, this would be a high time frame area of interest for me. So I'm playing the macro range, which is why I still hold shorts from up here. Because I'm playing the macro range. Okay? If you guys want to learn how to trade like us, and also get my daily trading plans, which does include altcoins, FX, stocks, indices, and Bitcoin, then come over to our website. And we've still got a promotion running for those that are interested. So, access to our free Discord via this link. And if you do want to join us and get access to all the educational content along with my daily trading plans, then you can get it for £25 for your first month. Okay? When you get to checkout, use code TRIAL25 at checkout and you will get your first month at 25 quid. So you'll get access to over 50 modules in our library. And here's an example. Okay, I've just done this morning's daily update for the guys. You get our chat and chill streams, which is our high time frame and low time frame setup ideas for Bitcoin and other assets. And then obviously you've got all the educational modules below. Okay, now any of you that studied our Elliott Wave modules would have caught that short on Bitcoin yesterday. Okay, while the masses longed, got FOMO into resistance, we were pressing the red button. Okay, and in the end it paid off quite well for us. So if you guys want to learn this, come over to our website and make sure you use code TRIAL25. Okay, right, that'll do. If you've got an altcoin that you want covering next week, let us know down in the comments. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And don't forget, guys, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. All right, as you were. Bye-bye.